That's
So
pretty much the sound that my daughter makes when she sees a frog for some reason. She goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's like, but it's a really weird voice like you just made. So I'm not, maybe she got it from you. I don't know.
I'm going to, so right before going on air, we were like, man, because Adrian thought we were on air already, and he put his professional hat on. And he's like, thanks for having me on, blah, 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 because he's very good at this shit. We were not live, so it was very, very funny. And then Jimmy finds a way to make the actual intro much more messed up. So thank you for that. We now know that Jimmy's little girl, when she sees frogs, goes yeah, 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 yeah. So now we know. Adrian, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Better now that you're here. I've been thinking about you a lot. I wanted to get a catch up and see how you guys are doing. Did I just see that Wombat has like 1 million accounts attached to it or something like that?
Yes.
I mean, what the shit, dude?
Right?
I remember freaking EO the links wallet goes down. I'm looking around for shit to do. Like I can't all the way through the crypto winter. There's like no way to use stuff. This Wombat wallet actually works. I was teaching all the Shipple people on EOS how to use it. So it was the only way to get anything fucking done at all. And now you got 1 million accounts.
True. We got 1 million accounts. And it's actually hard to believe. We recently had an investor talking to us, and they said, "No, sorry, but that's not possible. You can't have 1 million users."
Yeah. Hold on. I got something in my pocket.
It was real fun because they actually didn't believe it. And we're like, awesome. Dude, we're not making up numbers. We've got nothing to gain by making up numbers, right? It's just so weird.
Well, and it's all trackable too. Like that investor, you're like, hey, listen, like you might be able to invest in this, but like also go get a basic bitch education in blockchain.
Yeah.
Okay.
You never know, right? I mean, people can look up the number of EOS or Telos accounts or whatever we've created, right?
Yep.
With ETH, that's obviously more difficult, but it's fun, and it's great. We actually just hit the this million user mark this week, so I was actually saying that it's going to be a nice occasion to talk about it today with the two of you. And last week 2 weeks ago we had the 1 year celebration for Womplay, and this week we crossed the 1 million user mark.
All right, so here's what I need. We got like 7 or 8 people here. This is definitely going to be a celebration kind of morning, which is fantastic. But we need more people here. So if you could, I'm gonna share this stuff out. Oh, you know what we got to do, Jimmy? We got to play the thing with the rockets.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a while. And it's
right?
a kind of a rocket-typey kind of week, I think.
It is. Yeah, we should probably chat about inspiration. I got to, we'll talk about that whole thing because, my relationship with my wife changed because of it in a good way. And it was already really, really good. Did I make this yet? Anyway.
Because of what?
The inspiration for it, SpaceX launched the first all-civilian crew into space yesterday, right? And, I've been into rockets since I was like 4 or 5 years old, whatever it was, right? And it's always been on my bucket list to go to space. And until SpaceX started making those BFRs, it was never going to happen. The price is never going to come down. But with, Starship and what they're building with these giant stack ships, like 100 people at a time will be able to go into space within like a couple of years, right? So like they're building the 747 version where the price could come down far enough that somebody like me could actually go to space. And I get teary-eyed just fucking thinking about that. Like I used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning when I was like 6 years old to watch shuttle launches. I would just wake up, no one's around. It's been and it's just been impossible. It's been this like long distant, never gonna happen, but really amazing. Someday humanity will get it. And Elon Musk is like, yeah, hold my beer.
Yeah.
And then makes rockets land on their ass.
That is, I mean, that stuff is so amazing. I've been watching this. What's their new rocket called when they were doing these launches, and where it actually goes horizontal and stays like that, and then it starts dropping. Right?
So when I say BFR, it stands for big fucking rocket, which is what they codenamed the thing initially, right? It's called Starship now, but I'm always going to call it a BFR because that's fucking funny. But yeah, like it literally belly flops out of the sky, and then right at the end goes, and you'll see one of the tests before the one that worked right now. Please, everyone, share this out. Let's make this party. Be right back.
I'm not the bubble. 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 I'm not the bubble.
Rocket.
It's so funny. When I showed that to my wife, she said, "That's animated, right?"
Yeah.
I was like,
No,
no, it's not.
it looks fake as hell. It doesn't look real. I remember when the first time they tested, and they got it into the sky and it turned around and belly flopped, and everyone was just like, "That's not a thing." That because it, like aerodynamically, it looks ridiculous, but it really looks like it's floating out of the sky, right? Because it's so massive, you don't really get the scale, so it just looks like it's coming down slowly when really it's not.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, all that should happen. But let's get back to I just noticed something as well. Like it's your birthday?
Womplay's birthday. Womplay's birthday was what, last week or the week before? I think 2 weeks ago. We missed it by 2 weeks, but we still brought out the candles. I mean, me and Corey are the candles.
It was awesome. We actually had a full week of celebration, and people loved throwing confetti, which these are the things that you can't make up, right?
Yeah.
So candles are actually a great idea. We're gonna have candles next year.
This makes sense. I like this a lot. So okay, million users. Investors are going to start coming out of the woodwork. Hopefully smarter ones. Sorry to whoever that was. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
my investor relations is on point.
Hopefully it's not one of our investors, and we're screwed.
Like Legends going into Series A pretty soon, and they're all like scouring. Just like, yeah, we would invest, but that Corey guy's a fucking dick.
Like, one of those eight people knows who we're talking about.
It's like, anyway, so to finish that story, we watched Inspiration, was a Falcon 9 rocket, one of the smaller ones that they land these things all the time now, right? Like this rocket they launched a bunch of civilians up, had been used twice before. The Dragon capsule had been used before to take some people up to the International Space Station. So all this stuff is like tested gear, and they train for kind of normal-ish human beings and fire them off into space to orbit for 3 days just in the Dragon capsule. They're not going to the ISS, nothing. They're actually going, I think, 100 kilometers above where the ISS orbits, which is huge. Nobody's been that high since Apollo. Somebody really needs to insert a good drugs joke there. But it's intense, right? So we watched the launch, and we've actually been watching the little special on Netflix where you kind of get to know them and stuff. And the more we got to know them, I was like, really like, no, Baz, my wife's nickname, like they're not gonna blow up. Everything's gonna be fine. By the end of like watching all their life story, I'm like, please don't blow up, please don't blow up, please don't blow up, because you really get to know them. Got all vested. But yesterday, we watched the launch, and we're hanging out, and she actually booked us. This is not a lie. It's our 10th anniversary is coming up, and we're gonna go over to Orlando and just kind of stay at a beach, I think. And instead, she booked us space camp, so for adults. So we're gonna go do a space camp. She was doing that for me. Apparently not just for me, which is fun. She turned to me yesterday and said we should make it a bucket list to go to space. And she had never said that before. We've been together for a long time. Not even remotely. Like there's just thanks for getting caught up to what I've been saying for 42 years. But this is amazing. Like, what made you change your mind? And she's just watching this. Like they named it inspiration for a reason, but it's this palpable, literal shift just in our little family. So it's a pretty big deal. Now, we're just going to get her more into NFTs in the metaverse, and my work here will be complete.
The moment she realizes that her husband isn't crazy, when the thing that her husband has been ranting about for years on end finally becomes a reality.
It happens. It happens a lot, right? Like I've been ranting about self-driving cars for a long time, and so that's starting to come around too. And yeah, these rockets, I think, man, it wasn't even that long ago that they landed the first one. And everyone was like, "Oh shit, everything changed." Like anybody who knows anything about rockets realizes instantaneously that the world has changed, right? And I think we're still like everybody watching this probably gets it, but in crypto and video gaming and internet and metaverse and the way that we interact as human beings, there's been a shift as well. And the fact, Adrian, that Wombat is taking such beautiful advantage of this position in the universe, I don't want to get too deep about it, but I'm freaking really, really grateful that we met, and I'm honored to be able to hang out with you guys, because I know what you're building, right? Like I saw it instantaneously, and there was a bunch of shit I didn't see because you guys keep going way past even farther where I could sort of grok where you guys were headed. So if you could, nobody's heard of Wombat before, somebody who's just kind of coming into this, what is Wombat, and maybe tell us a little bit about how you guys got started.
I'll start with how we got started, actually. So back in 2018, when we decided we would want to go into gaming and blockchain. I mean, I used to be in the blockchain space before, but that was actually when we decided to deal with gaming. We realized that there's really no solution for getting people onboarded into the blockchain space, specifically when it comes to gaming, that would be so simple that the average person could do it, right? And for the mass market to adopt blockchain, that was really one of the big hurdles. And this is why we started working on Wombat back then. So we launched Wombat as a wallet, as an EOS wallet back in June 2019. And we were literally the simplest way of onboarding onto the EOS blockchain, because suddenly you could do that within 20 seconds, right? And before that, when I set up my first account, it took me 4 days, right? Outside of my Genesis account.
Right, you have to send it over here, then you have to transfer it, then you have to get this other thing, then you have to get this other token, then you have to send it back here, then you have to send the verification. It was hell, actually.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Buy RAM, stake resources, right? These things, so that you could go get started, right? So when we launched Wombat, it literally took 15, 20 seconds to onboard yourself and get your EOS account, right? And that was a big thing. But we kind of abandoned this notion of being a wallet specifically for gamers by now. So we see ourselves more as the platform where all your gaming things come together when it comes to blockchain, right? So we want to be the place where you can play games and have all your kind of NFTs and other assets, but also where you can play non-blockchain games and still get crypto assets for playing those, right? And this is why we also launched Womplay a year ago now, right? Where we added kind of a blockchain layer to existing traditional games that got nothing to do with blockchain. And this is kind of a reward system where you play games, mostly free-to-play games, mostly mobile games that have nothing to do with blockchain, and you still get NFTs or crypto for doing so, right? So this is how we're thinking about the space. That right now there's 1 million users playing Axie Infinity, despite that being super hard to onboard, right? It's really super hard, right? But we want to make that super easy, even for those games where it's actually hard right now. And we want to offer a solution to kind of the average gaming person to be able to deal with NFTs. So with Womplay, for instance, you can get your first NFT, your first ever NFT, within a few hours of playtime without even having to spend money for it, right? And we have so many of our users are first-time crypto users or first-time NFT owners, and they're super happy to finally get to know what it's all about with those NFTs and with crypto assets. And this is what we're really grateful for, and this is what we're trying to foster in general. That anybody who is interested can actually get started with crypto and NFTs and blockchain. Doesn't have to spend, I don't know, $700 in order to get started with a game, right?
That's you know what really blew my mind about the whole Womplay thing was that like, well, I remember the first time that you told me, oh yeah, you don't actually have to be a blockchain game to like earn cryptocurrency, right? And I was like, that's crazy. Like these games aren't even on the blockchain, and people are playing them, and they're getting little payments into their wallet. Like, I mean, that's just cool in general, right? And so like, yeah, I'm kind of curious. So Wombat has over 1 million users. Do you have any stats on, 2 questions actually. Do you have any stats on like how many people are playing on a regular basis through Womplay, or is that not even possible to get?
Well, we know because we reward them, right? So part of this 1 million users obviously has come through Womplay and is using Womplay, and that's about. So far, we've had about 250,000 people who have earned crypto through Womplay, and about 30,000 of those have also earned NFTs in Womplay, right? We've had over 30,000 trades so far on Atomic Hub on EOS. I think we're the most traded asset, right? Some of them get traded for like 100, 200 EOS, which is pretty crazy, right?
Now, is that only on EOS? Because I know like I know the Wombat wallet supports Telos, for example. Can people earn like Telos and other tokens as well that are EOS.io based, or not yet?
Well, generally, we don't want to focus on the technology all that much, right? It shouldn't matter. So for as long as for as long as it doesn't make a difference for people, we don't like to really expose which blockchain that is, right?
Sure.
So far we've been mostly using EOS for that because it's been there. We could use it, and EOS is an asset that's pretty easy to get, right? So unlike others, it's you can trade it anywhere.
Well, the reason I asked this today for the stream, I actually posted it over in the Telos chat, and right away somebody's like, "Hey, can you like earn Telos for Womplay too?" And I'm like, I don't know.
We've been getting that question. we've been getting that question a bunch of times in our AMAs as well.
Yeah.
So far, no, you can't. Right? We currently support EOS and PBTC because we actually wanted to have that notion of Bitcoin. But that's not the big thing for us, right? We can obviously add more cryptos to that, and also we could mint NFTs on a different blockchain. That's not a problem. Yeah, you should definitely check this out.
I am just gonna like steal all the good NFTs from his missus.
People are gonna grind now.
The good thing is that you can only get them randomly so far, so you never know whether you're going to get a good one or not, right? But our first edition Tasty Tail and Hero Zero NFTs, they're out of print, right? So you'll never get one through playing. You can only buy them by now. So for us, really, we don't want to focus on the technology all that much because we just want things to work for our users for as long as we can, right? With Ethereum, that's basically impossible. You can't not expose the technicalities of Ethereum because it's simply so expensive and hard to use in general. So but in general we want to be multi-chain. So we're like I said it, I think last time I was on the show, that next stop is Wax. So we're at this stage we're working on Wax. We believe that we'll be able to launch Wax integration by the end of the month or early next month, right?
Hello.
So we're gonna have Wax in the wallet, and that's obviously going to give us the possibility of handing out Wax-based assets as well. So we're currently looking which kind of blockchains to mint the next 1 million NFTs on, literally, right? Because so far we've minted about 200,000, and we're kind of thinking about it really thoroughly. Because for one, we don't want our users to be very much exposed to kind of the technology they have to use. So it's got to be seamless, and EOS.io offers that. That's cool, right? But there's also other blockchains. I don't know. I really like Solana for that as well because the experience is great. right? So we're
If I love Solana, I really love Solana. I think Solana is awesome, but I have to say, if they can keep running, and not go down for like 15 hours at a time, because
of the transaction overload,
issue, right?
I mean,
yeah, like that was bad, and I really like Solana, so I hope that they solve it. But yeah, that was like, I think it was 15 hours was the last time that they were down because of that. So
that's a major reputational issue, right? You can see with the token price already that Solana has gone down a lot, right, since it's high. And this is only because of that, because people like start questioning whether that's actually a proper model. But there's a lot of things I really like about it, and specifically the user experience, right? You don't notice that you're paying a fee, so then that's a good thing about it, right? Maybe the bad thing is that it doesn't stop the network from being spammed. But
like because it's so fast and so cheap too, right? Like that's part of the problem. So like there's always going to be issues. I think but I like, totally, right? Like you don't notice you're paying a fee. It's like when you walk into a dollar store and you buy something, and when you get to the counter, you pay $1 because they've already built the taxes in, right? Like if you're using Ethereum, you walk into the dollar store, you buy something for $1, you get to the counter, and you got to pay $50. I mean, it's just right? Like the transaction fees, I think in a way they kind of should be built in if you have to have them, right? Like if you're not going to cover the user's fees, it would just make so much more sense. I don't know how you would really do it, I guess, to send things, but like, minting things and stuff like that, like it seems like you'd be able to do it. But sorry, that was my little rant. But I think like that it's interesting because I was talking to somebody the other day about, what would it be like, what would it look like if you had almost this like viewing portal, basically, whereby you could see all of your NFTs from any blockchain. It didn't matter what it was, right? Maybe you wouldn't be able to interact with them, but like you could see that they were there, whether it was Ethereum, whether it was Solana, whether it was Wax, whether it was Telos, whether it was EOS, whether it was Polkadot, whatever, you could see them. But it kind of sounds to me, or seems to me, like you guys are maybe like the closest within reach to something similar, right? Like if you get to that point where you could release NFTs from different blockchains that you're working with, I think that's pretty cool. I know there's no promises there, but I'm pretty excited if you get something with Wax, because that kind of means that maybe our Yoshi drops or our Uplift NFTs might just pop up in your wallet, which would be really nice.
I mean that's totally going to happen, right? But that's what we have, right? I mean we mostly do EOS and Ethereum right now, but you already in our NFT view you already see both your EOS and Ethereum-based NFTs in one view, and if you don't know kind of which is running on which blockchain, you wouldn't see the difference necessarily, right? And this is basically exactly what we want. We will probably add a little tag so that people actually do know, because it will for the foreseeable future, for the next 1-2 years, it probably will matter. It will keep mattering, but in general. We would like to avoid saying, okay, this is an asset that runs on that blockchain, right? But this view will be enriched by Wax assets, by whatever, Solana, BSC, Matic, right, or Polygon assets, so that people don't have to worry. They have this one place where it can deal with that, but also they have this one place where it can actually, for instance, put them on the market. Right. I mean, how weird is it to have to know which market you have to go to, like from a user's perspective, right? Not from kind of a blockchain perspective. That's all clear, right? But from a user's perspective, if I want to sell something, let's say I have a physical thing, I don't want to go to 10 different marketplaces depending on what technology this thing is based on, right? So if you want to sell your battery-driven torchlight. Then you sell it on the battery-driven marketplace. But if you want to sell your solar torchlight, you have to sell it on a different marketplace. That's kind of weird, right? And this is exactly what's currently happening, right? You have NFTs from different blockchains, and you have to know if you want to sell it or if you want to buy more. You have to know which is the best marketplace to go to, right? That's actually kind of weird. That each blockchain has like 2, 3, 4, 5 different marketplaces where you may find liquidity for this particular asset, but you don't know where to go to. And we want to build this abstraction layer on top of it, where people don't have to think about these things anymore, right? And they can see kind of what they have and put that on a marketplace and buy more immediately without having to kind of feel it, right? And ideally, we have that as much integrated into our user experience as possible.
For anyone who's planning on being in the blockchain crypto NFT space for more than 2 years, I want you to stop, just pause this in a second, go back 2 minutes, and listen to what he just said again. I've been saying for a very long time, the second that we get past all of these intranets to an internet of blockchain, where all of this stuff is abstracted away and the user never knows, that's when shit gets fucking crazy. And the only person, I mean this, the only person I've ever met who's literally working and planning and building for this eventuality is you. Right? Like,
which is actually
real.
crazy.
It is. And I mean, like, you know, don't send the investors the first bit of this, but send them, like, for real, like that, you know, and there will be many, many more people that are figuring this out. A, you're going platform instead of specific. That's always a winner, if properly executed. And B, like, you're abstracting, you're doing, you know, the thing that needs to be done in this space. Nobody gives a fuck about the technology, right? Like 5 guys on EOS. I get it. Like, you're really all about the technology. Good for you. No one else cares. And no one else is 99.9% of the human beings on the face of the earth. You know what they like to do? They like to play Farmville. Right? Yeah. And they like to get NFTs, which is real fun. And they don't know what blockchain, you know, like, just what you guys are building is, I mean, you know, I've been ranting about you guys for a long time. We know it's going to work. But it's just, it's so much fun to see how close you are to sort of realizing that vision. And the number of times you've said technology doesn't matter. We don't want anyone to have to worry about that. I mean, you've been saying that the whole time, but it feels more real today for some reason. Like, it just, like, because you guys are really getting to that point where you're literally multi-chain and focused on, like, you know, building a marketplace, presumably that, you know, you can buy and sell and trade all these things and not have any clue where the liquidity or the trades are coming from, right? Is that something that you guys are thinking about doing, or is that more or less what you were just talking about?
Yeah, actually, you know, for us, it's more about front end, right? We've been talking to a few game partners of ours, and it's like, let's step back a little. When people talk about marketplaces, they mostly talk about backends, right? They talk about where are these assets put on, like, which smart contract do you send them to actually put them on a marketplace, and how do you interact with that, right? So this is kind of the backend part, but yeah, we actually talk about front end more. And it's just so funny if you try to, let's say, sell an asset on OpenSea on a mobile phone, right? OpenSea have recently, like 3 or 4 weeks, they've added a sell button. So it makes it much easier, because before that they didn't have that, right? They literally didn't have a sell button on your own view, on your own NFT. So you have to scroll down to the very bottom of the page to actually put it on sale. And above that, you would see kind of a lot of things that didn't matter for you because you were already a holder of this asset, right? So this is a super strange UX. And if we talk to our partners or our gaming partners who are from the traditional space, right, what they say is, sorry guys, but if you want our gamers to trade NFTs on a marketplace, it has to be so much easier. It has to be so much more tailored towards gamers than what is currently out there. And it doesn't matter which one which one we're talking about. It's the same with, unfortunately, Atomic Hub and the other marketplaces. They're super hard to use, especially on mobile. They're all designed with kind of desktop first, right? And we're mobile first generally, right? 85% of our users are using mobile, although we have the Chrome extension, right? And so on mobile, everything is super difficult. And it took me, when I tried to sell an NFT on OpenSea, it took me like 15 minutes. And that's like a month ago or so, 15 minutes to find out how I can put it on sale. And I mean, I know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm not a first-time kind of NFT marketplace user, but it was literally hard to find, right? And then I gave it to a colleague of mine and I said, okay, so here's my phone. I have an NFT. Please put it on sale. And with my help, it still took him 5 minutes. And I mean, that's super crazy. All the gamers would actually give up, right? they would say, whatever. I don't know what it's worth anyway, so I'm probably not going to get a lot of money for it. So I'm just not going to put it in a marketplace because it's not worth my time, my 5, 15, whatever minutes. So there's got to be this one front end, this one user experience place where this is bundled, where you can just like this super simple act of putting your NFT on sale. This needs to be super simple. And so that's why I'm talking about front end mostly, right? I don't mind whether this is being put on OpenSea's marketplace or on Atomic Hub's marketplace or whatever other marketplace we might be talking about. What I care about is that our users have a super simple possibility to put their NFTs on the marketplace, because this is why they're NFTs to begin with, right? Mm-hmm. So that they have the possibility to, well, do something with them, like monetize them or whatever, but that's got to be simple.
Amen. Yep.
And it's actually weird how few people are working on these things.
That it's funny. I'm reminded there's been a couple of things where this year when we started, I think you might have even asked this. We were going through like, building the uplift out and creating a metaverse or whatever. And so many people asked like, why hasn't this done before? We're like, we don't know.
Yeah, right.
So we're just gonna go do it, right? And with we're talking about doing some DeFi stuff on Wax, and the same thing. Like, why aren't people doing this yet? Why isn't Wax doing this yet? We don't know. Those are like, that's when you got an elephant by the tail. Rock and roll, like pedal to the metal. Do not wait. Like, rock and roll. No, you guys aren't. I'm telling everyone else. Like, if anyone ever says, why hasn't anyone thought of this before? Quit fucking around and get to work.
Yeah, and you may find out why, right? You may find out why midway, and that may cause big trouble. But it's that's exactly that trouble is exactly what you have to overcome, because if it were easy, then probably somebody would have actually done it, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, ideas are dog shit. Execution is everything.
Right?
That's our
and
Friday
you guys have executed to the tune of 1 million users. Like, that's just like, you guys have executed to the tune of 1 million users.
Yeah, right?
Like, what?
It feels good.
It's good. You guys are crushing it. So good. Yep. So, I know I ask you this every time. Are you guys tokenizing at any point?
I would say that we're closer than ever to tokenizing things.
Show over. No. So we're starting to play around with DeFi on Wax in advance of what we're cooking in the background. And Kate has been doing some amazing things. Just to give you a little bit of an update, like we finally got around to releasing automatic crystallization of upliftium, right? You earn upliftium and Wax in the game, and you can crystallize that into an NFT, and that's automatic, right? So you click a button. Now you have an NFT that says you have 1 million upliftium. It's really fun. Nice. So Kate, CAIT, this DeFi, I kind of feel like they're a DeFi skunkworks. Like, they've got great, really, really great EOSIO dev working with them. They're really messing around in the space in a really positive way. Like, they're testing the limits of what's possible. So they turn around within an hour of us launching the automatic crystallized upliftium. They create a token called Liftium on the Wax blockchain, and a smart contract where you throw this NFT into that smart contract and it kicks out Liftium. Because what I'd been saying for a long time is like, we're probably not going to do that, right? But the community can do whatever the heck it wants. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right?
Yeah.
And literally, it shocked everyone. Like, I would have started talking to people to kind of like, hey, you could do this if you wanted to. We're not going to stop you, whatever. And he messaged me, Micah messages me, like, is it okay? Like, if we did this? I'm like, it's not okay. It's fucking rad. And it works so well. You just send, one of these crystallized upliftium NFTs to tokenized NFT, the Wax address, boom, the Liftium hits your account. And then, of course, you get that over to Alcor, where, people are starting to whale into the swap pools and manually incentivize the LP. That's like the biggest thing that I think Alcor has been missing for a long time. And something that we're planning to solve. Something Kate is solving. As an example, they're creating. I think this weekend they're creating a rewards pool for anybody that is in the Kate Lithium pool. They should be announcing some information on that. So there's just tons and tons and tons of shit going on in the DeFi space that's basically starting to cement relationships between all the different projects, right? There's about 50 tokenized projects, that are actively working and building NFT games and projects or whatever. And the volume just keeps going up all the time. And, the relationships between them, now that we can target those different kinds of LP with rewards or with benefits or whatever, is awesome. So your timing, as usual, is real good.
Hope that, right? But it's actually very fascinating because that's precisely what I love about the space and NFTs and tokens in general, because they're so interoperable by nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people can simply do whatever they want, and if they want to, like, obviously, fractionalized NFTs are difficult, right, in terms of legal issues and regulatory issues. But I mean, if people want to do that, then I mean, who am I, right?
Right, that's the thing. Like that layer of abstraction kind of runs in the opposite direction, right? Like we had nothing to do with that, nor will we.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, right? Like that, people can do with these NFTs whatever the heck they want, and if they want to have this situation where they have a fungible token that is available in all these powerful tools that exist already and that are coming, who are we to stop them?
Definitely.
And that's kind of, in a way, right, like the beauty of decentralization, right? Like anyone can take it, anyone can run with it, anyone can improve it, and that's probably why the space moves so fast in a way as well, right? Like you don't just have one team, you have these like various teams building off of things, forking things, playing things out. But yeah, I think it's
and I really love and we've had this example of confetti NFTs right now, right? So it's the simple things, and you can gamify them to no end, just like what you said, Kari, with crystallized NFTs, right? And so suddenly, out of a single number, people make other things where it's kind of there's so many more layers on top of that, right? So during our Womplay birthday celebrations, we've had.
Are you communicating with aliens again, there, Adrian?
Is that me?
I don't know.
What?
It's not me. Can't you hear that?
No.
I can hear it.
Must be Corey then.
You know what? Is it the gardening people? Is it me?
It's like there's.
Yeah,
like
I'm sorry,
weird,
dude. Yeah, the gardening people are right there, and I was multitasking.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. I understand. No problem.
So we had this button where it could throw confetti, right? Just on the front end, you could just click it and throw confetti, and so that was just during our birthday week, and because people loved it so much, and they were like, and I myself was like clicking confetti all the time. So we started releasing that as an NFT, so people would have that functionality on the platform kind of forever, right? For as long as they have this NFT. Right, so you can now go to Womplay and you can earn your confetti NFT, or you can obviously also buy it on Atomic Hub. And for as long as you own that NFT, you can press C on desktop, or just tap the logo, and you're going to throw confetti. But now it doesn't stop there, right? Because what can you do if you have NFTs? You can obviously say, okay, now they have an amount of confettis, of individual confetti particles, right? So you could blend them. So you could increase the number of particles that you throw whenever you throw confetti, right? You could introduce different colors, and you can have different angles of how that confetti is being thrown, right? You could have, if you own 4 NFTs, you could throw 4 at once, right? And all these kinds of things. And I think that the potential for these things is limitless, specifically because they're NFTs. And it was not like that before, because you would basically just say, okay, you have unlocked confetti, and now you can basically press C and whatever, and you can throw confetti at any point in time. But with NFTs, it adds this gamification layer that's built into those NFTs themselves, rather than like building them around NFTs, right? Building gamification around NFTs. It's in the NFT, and this is what I find so amazing about it.
Sorry, I just realized me. Yeah, the gamification stuff is nuts. Which reminds me, like that, going from that sort of primary layer, right? And we've been talking a lot about DeFi over the last little while, and we're not going to stop. But that, that initial layer, I've been taking everything back to, everything I learned about DeFi. I learned from this stupid game called Egg Chain Project, which is actually really true. It's fun. They designed this on BSC. This team designed this thing where like you get in the main pool, you have some BNB and some egg token of theirs, and it just spits out more egg token, right? Basically like normal DeFi mechanics, APY, blah, 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 blah. But then with egg, you can stake that egg or more egg BNB LP and get Evo, which is just another token, right? And this Evo is just like color to evolve more chickens. Because, why wouldn't you want to do that? And then you can mix those tokens, which are like now meta tokens, right? Like you're getting, red and green and blue, whatever. And then you can mix red and green to get yellow. And now yellow, you can mix with something else to get sand. And then you can stake blue to get things. There's just this giant tree of that abstraction, right? Like you go that one layer and then suddenly you can change colors and change operability and change functionality at that second layer. They went 10 layers deep.
Yeah.
It's mental. And at the end of it, you're buying NFTs with everything that you get from them, right? And I've been wailing into that. Anyway, so on that note, just because, we've taken them kind of under our wing a little bit because they're adorable and fun and they work their freaking nards off. For Binance Smart Chain, is there a way, and I kind of want to talk about MC Merc too. So, they're asking if someone is an indie game developer, how do they enlist the help of the Wombat system? Is it a partnership that needs to be struck, or can we download from GitHub? I think that last one's probably not the case, but what's the onboarding process like for games that are in our ecosystem that really want to be part of the giant fucking million user behemoth that is Wombat?
Just talk to us. Just either find us on Telegram or join our Discord or drop us an email. It's all on our website. You can just send an email to info@getwombat.io, right? And ask us because, we're a list anything that works properly and that is fun, right? So that we'll help you with promoting that, definitely. Because, everybody wants more good content. And if you're building good content, then we're totally going to help you, right? So just drop us a note and we'll help.
We're about to blow your shit up. There's like so okay, with Wax and planning on having some Wax operability. You were saying like maybe in a month.
Probably
how
sooner.
big of a splash do you want to make? Because I don't know if you know this, but Jimmy and I know everybody.
I was actually thinking that.
Everybody.
As big a splash as possible, I would say, right? We love getting shit out, right? And we're not the guys who are actually like the loudest in the space, right? But we're definitely always, I would say, delivering solid results, right? So with Wax, it's kind of similar as like what I just said. We're super happy to onboard all the content that's out there. That means the NFTs, the games, the tokens, get everything in and promote. Like we can totally do, 4 or 5 weeks of Wax promotion once we're live and like promote a new
thing every day. Yeah.
A new thing every day or every other day, right? Obviously, we don't want to spam our users too much, but
right.
We'll totally help with that. And so we haven't even sorted through all there is on Wax and kind of the order of how we want to promote that.
I got you. Let's talk about this because I think having and we could dedicate 6 weeks of our show to this, and I think it would not be terrible. Just that even as a celebration of everything that's freaking badass on Wax anyway, right? So if we were gonna do 6 weeks, we're gonna do 5 days a week or whatever. Unless you want to do on the weekends too. Like we could, Jimmy, you want to go back to every day for 6 weeks? Whoo, rock and roll, motherfuckers!
Jimmy's super thrilled.
Jimmy's like, you son of a bitch. But yeah, I mean, there's tons of projects out there. There's tons of good projects out there. But then it's a matter of like, how do you break that down? And I mean, like doing some kind of, a competition or something, some way to send out to the communities and the projects that are on Wax, how do we bring value to the Wombat ecosystem, right? Whether it's, donating NFTs for your reward pool, which I think should absolutely happen. Right. And from every project, right. And balance that stuff out to tokens, right? I mean, if having the ability to maybe can you guys do token drips? Like, I wonder if we should just talk to Kate. So there's just so much stuff, dude. We're gonna need to like have a breakout meeting on this if you want.
Totally.
Because we can, and I love the idea of helping you with this. Obviously, the rising tide lifts all boats anyway. But we can get into a situation where we make a very, very large splash, and in both directions, which could be really fun. Yeah, well, Farmers World. By the way, if anybody knows the guys behind Farmers World, A, like I bought some stuff, I haven't tried it yet. Like, what the fuck? But B, 3.6 million wax in the 3 various farmers tokens in volume in the last day, in 24 hours, and I have no fucking clue what's going on. Like, this is like the biggest hole in my game.
Yeah,
I know literally everyone on Wax. We haven't talked to them yet, so we got to get them on the show.
I'm in the Telegram channel. I reached out to them, but no response yet. They're probably just busy. But yeah, we'll do it again if anyone knows. Let us know, because we'd love to have them on and have a deep dive into that.
And they definitely need to be top 10 additions to Wombat for sure.
One thing though, because I realized that some of the Wax-based projects only offer kind of Wax Cloud Wallet login, right? It would be greater if there was a scatter option, right? We're going to be scatter compatible on Wax.
Okay.
But I believe that there's
way more Anchor than scatter on Wax.
Yeah, we're currently not doing Anchor yet.
Okay.
We might consider it, but it's not. For us, it's not that great, specifically when we want to show content to our users, right?
Okay.
It's easier to actually just open it within Wombat and not have this anchor indirection.
Okay.
So we've been mostly relying on Scatter. We can obviously consider doing something else as well, but that's going to change the UX. So with Scatter, we can keep the UX like very straightforward for everyone, because it's the same in EOS and Ethereum, or EOS.io and Ethereum. But yeah, maybe that's going to be a discussion that we're going to have. But yeah, anyway, that's just
I would say there's probably between 20 and 50 times more people on Anchor than Scatter. Just for context. Now, like if we need to do this to come and play on Wombat, like we'll do it. I'm not scared.
It's easy, right? It's not.
Well, a lot of those old wallets use that Scatter protocol, but it doesn't really matter on your end, right? Like you've taken it and you've adapted it, right? So like even if they discontinue any upgrades or something like that, it won't affect Wombat or any of these other wallets, to my understanding.
It's not about the Scatter wallet; it's about the Scatter protocol, right? That's kind of the mix-up. So you implement the Scatter protocol, you're going to be compatible to Wombat. If you add a Wombat kind of login option, then whatever happens to Scatter doesn't matter. It will always say Wombat, and then we can also replace it with something else if need be, right? So we can, in the long term, we can also do, or longer term, we can also do Anchor. We've been actually considering Anchor.
Well, and I think you guys have it when you go to blocks.io or something, for example. I think like Wombat, the little tag pops up. But it used to just be Scatter, and if you clicked on the Scatter, then it would automatically log in your Wombat wallet or some of your other wallets, right? Well, but now that's been fixed, so it's not
like. And this might be a longer term thing too. Morton's saying, Wombat, are they going to have a Wax wallet? Like it seems to me that the sort of the best way down the road is to just be using Wombat. Like, is that where you guys are headed, or is it just going to all require these other things to connect to it?
What do you mean with these other things?
So, okay, just microscopically, we want to always improve the onboarding scenario for the uplift, right? A lot of friction there still, right? Need Minecraft, need a Wax wallet, blah, blah, blah. It'd be really, really cool if, because most people get the Wax Cloud wallet to start. What if people are getting Wombat to start? Just because that ecosystem is, I don't know, 5 times bigger.
Yeah, so I think that's what's cool, right? Is that from within Wombat, you'll be able to deal with all of your EOS, Ethereum, and Wax-based NFTs and assets and dApps and games and whatnot, right? So you don't have to have like MetaMask for Ethereum and Wax Cloud Wallet for Wax and all these things, right? So I think that's what's cooler. Also, what I think is cooler, and we haven't spoken about that when it comes to kind of UX with marketplaces. I recently tried this thing on Avalanche, right? This Tops thing, right? Tops have now launched MLB, I believe MLB stuff on Avalanche, and it's funny because that's a closed ecosystem, right? So you only in order to access your Tops NFTs, which are minted on the Avalanche blockchain, you always have to go through the Tops front end, right? And I think that's pretty bad because it's not a real NFT. If
Right.
you need to access this one place. And actually, I'm not sure about how Wax Cloud Wallet is dealing with private keys by now, because back in the day they were allowing you to export your private key, right, and to put it into, I don't know, Scatter or wherever, so that you could keep using the same account from somewhere else. And this would be pretty cool if people could actually put their private key into Wombat from Wax Cloud Wallet and keep their account, keep all their NFTs, right, and but be able to use I don't know, all EOS based and Ethereum based dApps and assets as well, right, and also, for instance, play Womplay.
Yeah, I don't know that Wax Cloud Wallet will let you steal your private key right now.
It used to be possible, right? I know that like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I've done that, but I'm not sure whether it's still possible because we've been talking to them about it, and I'm not sure. Like, I think they wanted to focus more on the Wax Cloud Wallet, and which is obviously fine, right? They're onboarding millions of people onto the blockchain. That's awesome. But I generally, like, we have this notion of things should be open and people should be able to walk away with their assets if they so choose, right? Because that's essentially the power of blockchain. This is why you're using it, because you want to do with it whatever you want. You want to go to another marketplace. You want to choose a different blockchain. You want to choose a different wallet. You should be able to.
Well, and in that case, Wax isn't really much different than some of these other EOSIO chains, right? Like, it's pretty difficult to open an account. You got to figure some stuff out. You got to research some stuff. Even if you go through Anchor and these other places, right, you still have to pay for it. It's not an easy thing to do. So I think like what you guys bring to the space with that kind of paid for wallet, private key option is going to be huge, especially when the masses start to come in, or the gamers start to come in that aren't necessarily familiar with, all things crypto. Because, they might hear about it. Oh, I heard you're supposed to have your own private keys. And Wombat offers a really easy solution, right? Like, subscribe to, I think it's 3 months. You have a special subscription service, or you can pay outright once, a one-time fee. And then those keys are released, and you have complete and full ownership to everything in your wallet, which I think I don't know of anyone else who does that in the space, honestly.
And we're going to have the same thing for Wax, right? We won't let users pay for the account. I mean, in general, we would love to get rid of that altogether, right? We don't want people to have to pay for their accounts. It's just a spam prevention mechanism of sorts, so that we don't have to pay gazillions of accounts and people just walk away with them, right? That's the whole thing. But outside of that, it's going to be the same thing for Wax. So you're going to get a free account if you don't have one yet. It's going to be seamless as with all the other chains. So you're going to have Wombat open, and the minute you want to interact with something that you need a Wax account for, you're going to be asked to create or import one, right? So it's going to be this kind of seamless experience where all the stuff will be accessible in general, and then it's going to take you like another 3 seconds to set up your Wax account if you don't have one. And I think that's exactly like where things are or should be headed. And this is how we imagine that to work with all kinds of other blockchains. Obviously, with with blockchains like Ethereum compatible blockchains, you can basically just create all the accounts at once. You wouldn't have to kind of wait for it and do that lazily. But with EOS.IO based blockchains, I think it's still a good idea to do that lazily and not readily create accounts on all blockchains, because it's simply pretty expensive to do so.
yeah, it's definitely a non-trivial cost. That's for sure. Oh, hey, John McCoffey. That's fantastic, by the way. Adrian, I sent you a claim link for a crypto writer, Finney. Just as a congrats. They're cool.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, I've heard of those. Excellent.
Yeah, and I really hope that we used to have you on all the time, but then real life got in the way, which is cool. I'm happy that happened for you. And now that you're back, it's great, because I remember now why we used to love having you on here so much, because we always just learn so much. There's so many good conversations that we can talk about. So please, I hope that you can become more of a regular presence now and again. Because you pretty much can reach across all of our shows, right? I mean, from Monday to Friday, that you've got a hand in tech, you got a hand in NFTs. I mean, you're fast becoming a media mogul, right?
Onboarding Wax onto Wombat or vice versa, depending on how you want to look at it. I mean, that would be a really, really fun celebration of our entire ecosystem,
right?
And combining it with the onboarding power of Wombat. That'd be a fun way to spend 6 weeks. And, not for nothing, we help a lot of products get some exposure, and we help Wombat get to 2 million.
I'm a little bit quiet on this because I keep playing through show names in my head, and I'm just like, how can I make Whack a Wombat? Wombat,
no,
why
poor little wombats, dude.
Poor little wombats, right? I just keep thinking, though, it's funny because this image of the whack-a-mole keeps popping into my head, and all these little heads keep popping out, can I join? Can I join? Can I join? Can I join? They're all gonna want to be on it, right?
It's we would have to figure something out to whittle it down. Right, because there's a ton of projects out there.
Yeah, I agree.
And not for nothing, if people signed up to be part of our little Blue Deck experiment, I don't know. What's up? However, roundtables for NFT products, we might have to do 5 at a time, because there's so many freaking good projects that doing all the tokenized projects, I think would be I'm super biased, but I think it would be the smartest way to start. But then, getting everything, there's so many good NFT projects that are, even medium size, smaller size, or whatever that would, not only do well to have some exposure, but be really, really good, value adds for the Wombat ecosystem. By the way, Adrian, you remember Shipple?
Yeah,
from back in the day. So
I'm still providing liquidity for it.
Right? Yeah, no, on DeFi Box. Yeah, we were both doing that, which is fun. It's probably gonna get smashed right now. Sorry, because there's not that much there. So I gave that to the community this year just because I'm so busy doing everything else. Right? Just, you guys take it. Just do whatever you want to do. And Bullshipples kind of took the reins, which is perfect. And they actually forked it over to Wax. They did pack and crate drops, because you can actually do a pack drop on Nefty now, where you rip the pack and it automatically spits out a token. Nice. Not for nothing, when you guys do a token drop, call me, because that's a really, really fun way to do it. And really, you could just sell membership NFTs and give the token out for free. Wink. Whatever. Anyway, so Shipple's crushing it. They're all over Alcor. They're 5 times more valuable than Aether. I think they're still 6 times more or 4 times more valuable than Selenium. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all. But they're just grinding, and they're doing manual LP rewards, right? So there's a leaderboard on bullshipples.io, and I think they're focused on Aether Shipple right now. So the more Aether Shipple liquidity you provide, the top 10 or whatever get packs of NFTs, and in those NFTs there's Shipple. So it's lo-fi DeFi. We've been talking about it the whole time. When we first started talking about Shipple, and just so you guys know, Wombat was the second wallet and the only usable wallet for Shipple for a long fucking time. It's happening. It's happening.
Can I port my EOS based shipples to Wax?
Yes, and it's
nice.
a fork. So just like get it out of the DeFi box or whatever you have, and I'll send you some more if you want. And you go to, I think it's on the Facebook link, or you can go to bullshitballs.io. I think it's on there, and you basically just do the application, and they're gonna fork it all over at once. I think they're even doing it manually, right? Like they just got the token minted. They're just gonna set it all out.
Man.
It's old school, man. Like that.
Yeah,
we only have like, I think there's probably only about 500 or 1,000 people. I mean, that's how we always did it with Shipple, because we didn't have any devs, right? We had to do everything by hand because, like, I don't fucking know what I'm doing. I'm just making it up. But yes, you can and you should. And you got, I think, 15 days left to do it.
Cool. We'll head over on the weekend.
Awesome. And I'll send you whatever you need. A couple things. Yoshi drops today is the Taylor Alexander drop. That's I think you have until 11. You have another hour to get memberships. The Vinyl Crate claim tickets are going to go out to all the memberships, and they're going to go out to every single one of the memberships that you hold. So, like, for me, as an example, I bought a bunch of the lifetime memberships because I was hoping that at some point they would stack, right? So, like, I've got a bunch of clears, I got a bunch of blacks, whatever. You know, I want to get something for each one of those things that I own. And I talked to M Blue about it, and he's like, yeah, fuck it, okay. Except he didn't say fuck it. He's a lot more it's just put together than I am, frankly.
And probably not something that you want to sleep on, because what that claim ticket allows you to get is a crate that is just packed full of like other stuff, right? Like, and some pretty good shit. Like, especially if you're going to be part of the Yoshi Drops ecosystem. I mean, there's going to be more Yoshi bucks in there. There's going to be NFTs there. There's going to be music in there, and like there's a few things that are like 100% guaranteed. I mean, if you don't follow M Blue, go over to Twitter, follow M Blue. He's got the whole message out there with the video that showcases everything that's going on. So definitely something you want to be a part of, I think.
Yeah, so it's gonna be good. You have another hour to get lifetime memberships on Wax, and then they're gonna take the snapshot. And they said that they're dropping the crate claim tickets at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure if you want to get part of this and you don't have one of those memberships yet, go grab one. And like the clears are dirt cheap. You can get it and just to check it out if you want.
I mean, I will do that if I have one more. So
right, get after it. All right, actually, you know what? I'll let me get a link. Let me see if I can get a link to just the LTMs from the lifetime memberships from Yoshi, just to make it easy for people. Yoshi drops, motherfuckers.
Yeah, the clears are really reasonable. If you don't have any, it's super easy.
Right? Memberships.
And the cool thing about it is, if you hold those,
they're really cheap.
If you hold those in your wallet, I believe they will also mine you Upliftium and enter.
They do mine you Upliftium, and they're going to mine you Yoshi bucks. I need more effing wax. These are really idiotically cheap.
I don't tell anyone, but don't tell anyone. But I go in there like at least once a week and just like scrape the bottom every week.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 for those. It's ridiculous. They're so undervalued. It's not financial advice. I mean, if you buy a bunch and send them to me, I'll be happy. I mean, if you want to do that. Not you. I mean, the community who doesn't want to.
Sure.
The clears are. I mean, legitimately, I want to sell some stuff and just buy 100 of these.
And they're a flipping, their music. You can listen to them. There's a whole song on there.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, and I'm going to be dropping, Adrian, I'm going to be dropping a Yoshi Drops thing probably by the end of the year for this little love song I wrote for Michelle. That's what we were talking about when you first came on. I was thinking about raising money to cancel student debt, starting with hers.
We saw Adrian like in the back room. He's like,
yeah. He's like, what is what I was talking about?
It's Jimmy. I knew Jimmy and Corey were close, but
wow. You're just gonna out us like that, huh? Yeah, no, we make out before the show.
It's good.
That's the other thing, Adrian, in our breakout meeting that I am more convinced we need to have now. We need to show you the Yoshi app, because I think that'll be a really easy high value add. Like, it's not only like a marketplace for all the Yoshi ecosystem stuff, but it's a player, right? So like all the Yoshi Drops music NFTs, video NFTs, all that kind of thing. It's just like a seamless, really well put together player.
Nice.
And I think they're starting to think in terms of platform as well. There's going to be a lot of other outfits out there that are doing, music NFTs and video NFTs and that kind of thing. Rob Flaska. But I think it'll end up being able to be incorporated into that so that your player kind of plays everything in the ecosystem, which is
and again, this is so great because this is what you need, right? You need a really cool front end for this.
Yes.
And if that's an app, or like an app is probably always the best thing, right? Where whenever you want to access to the content that you've unlocked with those NFTs, you can do so at any time, right?
Yeah.
And that's just like, we need more of that. So
right. Yeah, I'm starting to see Wombat as like Dig front page of the internet, app store kind of level. Is that crazy?
Just a bit. Not too crazy.
Brave browser type of thing, but it's not paid. They just comp you for it.
It's not even a browser. Like, it's just like that.
No. I mean, like the Brave browser advertisement. Like, they're just like, oh, Wombat's so big now, you don't even have to pay. We'll just put you on there for free. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, when you get 1 million users, people want you around. Just saying.
I gotta go because we have another show coming up on this channel and another channel as well. But you guys stay and hang out, and I think Adrian, I'm really happy to have you back or meet up with you, in the coming weeks to see all these cool things that you guys are doing. So, but yeah, let's
set something up for next week, and we can talk about our world takeover plans.
I mean, you should stay here with Corey because you guys can have a great open business meeting, right?
I should, right? Like we do. Yeah, I should run, but like you guys tokenizing made this nipple right here pretty hard. It's feels awkward now, especially now that I told everyone. But I had to tell you because
but nobody knows, right? So
yeah, it's just us and 15 of our closest friends.
No.
I'm so proud of everything you guys are doing. It's just fucking epic. It's epic, and it's really cool that we get to kind of be a part of it, frankly. So thanks for coming on and for doing everything you're doing.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and it's always great to be with the two of you because it feels like being with friends, and we should. It's just so weird that we're in so different time zones, so because we should actually have a drink with that.
Oh, we will someday.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're kind of halfway between me and Jimmy, so maybe we could just meet there and actually just have a drink.
Come to Berlin. Berlin is a place where you can have a drink.
I mean, but I feel like you missed your calling as the. Is that your handout so that you can do the chop?
Yeah, well, but I don't want to do it. But I'm trying to time it because I got this new one, but I get it.
All right. Do the new chop.
Well, that was weird for you. All right, there we go. Here's a new chop.
You ready? Oh,